Have you ever heard of the legend of the Ninth Legion? The story of an entire Roman legion, thousands of soldiers, vanishing without a trace for centuries. This tale has captivated historians and storytellers alike, but what if I told you that the mystery of disappearing Roman soldiers goes even deeper, right to the very edge of the Roman Empire? Let's travel back in time to Hadrian's Wall, a massive stone barrier stretching 73 miles across the rugged landscape of northern Britain. This was the final frontier. A line drawn in the stone to keep the barbarians of Caledonia, modern-day Scotland, at bay. For the soldiers stationed here, life was a constant mix of boredom and sheer terror. The weather was brutal, the locals were hostile, and beyond the wall lay a misty, unknown land from which chilling screams and war cries echoed in the night. Imagine being a young Roman legionary, far from the sun-drenched hills of Italy. You're standing guard on a windswept turret, peering into the thick, rolling fog. You can't see more than a few feet ahead, but you can hear things. Strange whispers on the wind, the snap of a twig just beyond your post. Your fellow soldier, Marcus, was supposed to relieve you an hour ago, but he never showed up. The night before, 2 men on patrol in the western sector simply vanished. No signs of a struggle, no blood. No bodies, they were just gone. This wasn't a rare occurrence. Official Roman records, as much as they tried to downplay it, are riddled with reports of missing personnel along the northern frontier, while many were likely deserters, fleeing the harsh conditions or victims of small-scale skirmishes. Some cases defy easy explanation. The local tribes, like the Picts and the Caledonians, were masters of guerrilla warfare. They knew the terrain like the back of their hand, the hidden valleys, the dense forests, the treacherous bogs. They could strike with terrifying speed and disappear back into the mists before a proper alarm could even be raised. A Roman patrol, marching in formation and clanking in their armor, would have been an easy target. It's highly probable that many of the vanished soldiers were ambushed, their bodies taken or hidden to sow fear and uncertainty among the Roman ranks. Imagine the psychological toll this would take. Every shadow could be an enemy, every gust of wind a war cry. The constant, gnawing fear of being the next to disappear would have been a weapon just as potent as any sword or spear. But some of the tales are stranger still. Local folklore, passed down through generations, speaks of more than just tribal warriors. They whisper of the spirits of the land, ancient entities angered by the Roman presence, the wall. This great stone scar across the landscape was seen as a profound violation of their sacred ground. Stories tell of soldiers lured from their posts by enchanting lights or beautiful music, only to be led into marshes where they would sink without a trace. Others describe men driven mad by visions in the fog, running screaming into the wilderness, never to be seen again. Are these just fanciful tales to explain the unexplainable? Or do they hint at something more? Perhaps the psychological pressure of being stationed at the edge of the known world, combined with local beliefs and the terrifying effectiveness of native tactics, created a perfect storm of myth and reality. Let's look at the archaeological evidence. When archaeologists excavate forts along Hadrian's Wall, they find the expected things: barracks, granaries, bathhouses, but they also find strange ritual deposits. In pits and wells, they've discovered everything from broken weapons and animal bones to raven skeletons, a bird of significant symbolic power in Celtic mythology. Some have even found what are known as curse tablets, small lead sheets inscribed with pleas to ancient gods to bring harm to their enemies. Could some of these have been created by desperate locals, calling on their deities to make the invaders disappear? Or perhaps even by the Roman soldiers themselves, trying to appease the strange, foreign gods of this new land? The most famous case, of course, is the Ninth Legion, the Lost Legion. The popular theory is that the entire legion, some 5,000 men, marched north into Caledonia to quell a rebellion around 117 AD and simply never came back. Vanished. While most modern historians now believe the 9th was likely disbanded or transferred and later destroyed in other conflicts elsewhere in the empire, the legend persists because it speaks to that deep-seated fear associated with the northern frontier. The idea that a force so powerful could be swallowed whole by the mists of Scotland is a testament to the terrifying reputation of the region. The fate of the 9th Legion became a cautionary tale, a symbol for all the soldiers who went missing, one by one, along the length of Hadrian's wall. So, what really happened to these vanished soldiers? The truth is likely a combination of all these things. Many were undoubtedly victims of well-planned ambushes by native tribes. Their disappearances a deliberate tactic of psychological warfare. Others likely deserted, preferring a life on the run to the grim reality of service on the wall. A few may have fallen victim to the treacherous landscape, getting lost in the fog or sinking into a hidden bog. And layered on top of all this reality is a rich tapestry of folklore and superstition, born from the fear and mystery of a land that refused to be tamed. The Romans could build a wall of stone, but they couldn't wall off the human imagination or the terror of the unknown. The wall today is a quiet, beautiful ruin. Walking along its path, it's hard to imagine the fear that once gripped the men who stood guard here. But if you stand there as the evening fog rolls in and the wind whispers through the ancient stones, you might just feel a little chill. You might find yourself glancing over your shoulder into the mists of the land that swallowed a legion. The mystery of the vanished soldiers of Hadrian's Wall isn't just a historical puzzle. It's a timeless story about the boundary between civilization and the wild, between the known and the unknowable, and the very human fear of what lies waiting in the dark. It reminds us that some questions from history may never be fully answered, leaving us with only the echoes of their stories on the wind. Thanks for joining me on this journey back to Roman Britain. What do you think happened to the soldiers who vanished? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoy diving into the great mysteries of history, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. See you next time.